Hi folks, Karen Lohoff again. This particular video will probably be called AR, Automatic Response. It's kind of a tribute to a friend of mine, and he has a new book out. His name is Tyce Perwerda, and that's spelled T-Y-C-E. I spell that because you may want to go to his new website, which is pretty classy actually, and it's tyce.info, you know, info as opposed to .com and so on. But as for myself, when I finish with this, it will eventually be on my www.kar-en.com, and likely, I'm thinking at this point in time, I'm going to go back in time and put it on a one of my earlier posts, likely that had to do with bipolar, because I'm feeling rather bipolar-y this weekend, which tends to happen for me. I realize that if you, I swear, I don't understand. My head does not feel like it's leaning to the side. Okay, sorry about that. It's a little rant. Okay, that means I'm in the thick of it. I shouldn't be having episodes, but that's kind of like, you know, that's kind of like, get out of her way, stay out of her way, lock her up, bury her, take that coffin she's got out there and just stick her in it for a few days. Anyway, I know that if you look on the internet, you will find that there's really nothing to the idea of a full moon making a difference in people's behaviors. And I beg to differ. I've lived a life of the full moon making a difference, and having had it make a difference with someone who attacked me many years ago when I was pregnant with my first child. And as it turns out, when I asked them, because they were indicating that this was not the first time, why they had not warned me, since I was left alone with her and 4 or 5 other girls in a cottage unit at Arizona State Hospital. You know, you would think that they could put on flashing red lights or something like that and say, watch out for this gal when it's a full moon. But no, they didn't bother. But she did apparently attack people, generally, about the full moon time. So, believe me or no, it's up to you. If you've had any full moon experiences, I would love to know about them. I'd love to hear and love to, you know, have some comments about that. Actually, I had not intended, as is generally the case, I had not intended to talk about the full moon. I had intended to talk about Pavlov and his dog. I'm going to read this little sentence. Your life, your evolution is your business. What others do is their business. If you let the world affect how you feel, what you're saying is, I do not make my own decisions. I just have a Pavlovian response to anything that life brings my way. Actually, I can't see the last 4 words, so I'm making up. But that's what it says. This is in a little book by Stuart Wilde called The 3 Keys to Self-Empowerment. And, you know, I don't think I've ever talked to anybody about Stuart Wilde, which just seems really odd to me, because he's apparently quite prolific, not only as an author, but as an individual who I believe might even be someone who has his own radio show and that kind of thing. And probably many of you know who he is, but I had not known until I picked up this little book at a garage sale many years back, and I enjoy it because someone took their scissors and stair-stepped the pages that they wanted to be able to get to quickly. You know, stick their thumb in there and go here and here. And I'd never seen that before either. I thought that was kind of interesting. But we'll get back to automatic response, or the response that we came to study in school as the Pavlovian response. And my friend Thijs Verwoerde talks about this a lot. And if you were to ever have the opportunity to speak with him and ask him about yourself, I mean, he's NLP trained and so forth, and so many people do talk to him to just kind of get a sense of what goes on in their background. He would probably hit you up about is this an automatic response or is this a choice? And I'm sitting here with wet cheeks. I, I've admitted before in life that I am a crier and that I tend to go through life with wet cheeks. A lot of times on my videos, you'll see that my eyes have a lot of moisture in them. I think they've probably long ago gone past their capacity for the tear ducts, and the tear ducts just leave it out there. Don't worry about it. But I really had thought, possibly, that I was not so teary as I had been. My son doesn't enjoy when I start to choke up, as any time that I talk about anyone that I care about or would care about if I knew them. You know, if the story tells me that I would care about them. I start to choke up, and he says, "Don't cry." And I try really hard not to, or wait 5 minutes and see if I can come back and tell the story. But I'm definitely AR oriented with regards to tears. And ties it kind of at the beginning of his site where he does talk about AR. He has kind of his little blurb. I mean, this is just personally, I think it's a really well set up site. He asks, if you smile, is it AR or is it a choice? Which, two things in reference to that. I learned early on to smile at people. I remember my uncle, who really wasn't into emotion, like rewarding me. I mean, it must have been a little diary book or something. I'm sure it wasn't, that I graduated junior high or anything. It was just, I don't know what it was, but he indicated something about how nice it was that I smiled well, as opposed, I guess, to smiling poorly. But that has always stuck with me my whole life. I'm looking for more of those little signed things in my diary, where I did that well. And I'm going to go off screen here. Sorry, I just wanted to wipe my nose real quick. So the other day I was explaining to someone how I had always believed that people liked me because I always smiled at them. And her response was something about, yeah, but you need to be able to cope. Which is like, yeah, but you don't have any coping skills. You can smile, but you can't cope. That's how I took it. Sorry, that's not necessarily the only interpretation, but it was my interpretation. And I really have thought about it quite a bit since then, and I thought, it's true I don't cope well, if people don't smile at me, if people don't smile back. I'm sure we've all had the experience where you're walking down the street and for whatever reason, maybe the person reminds you of a movie star or somebody you just really like, and you just automatically burst into this huge smile, and they walk on by, not moving their lips, and so two for two now. I have automatic response in areas where um, where clearly it's best if we smile through choice, and it's best. Well, I don't know. I guess I don't know the rules with crying because I don't know anybody who really cries by choice. But maybe I need to think on that a little longer. Um, Another thing that he brought up is when you're watching a movie and you get scared, is that automatic response? And that tends to be for me an area where I'd say, oh no, if I if I get scared, that's definitely a choice. It's not an automatic response. But I remember going to the drive-in movie with my mother when I was in high school. Now this is unheard of. I mean, who goes? Who ever has? Who can recall going to the drive-in, the drive-in, the drive-in movie when you're in high school? I mean, opportunity go long. Anyway, um, I went with my mother. I was with my mother to see Audrey Hepburn in, I probably can't think of the name of the movie, but Audrey Hepburn was a blind woman, and I remember she came, she was kind of like feeling her way into the kitchen and around the bar, and lo and behold, there was someone who shouldn't have been there. I mean, I really don't remember the movie except for this one thing. And I just so much did not want her. I didn't want that person to grab her legs because I could just imagine how frightening that would be for her. And I screamed, and I'm definitely not a screamer. Uh, I could never scream on demand. I mean, offer me $500 to scream in a movie, and you'd have to say, no, we're going to try somebody else. Please leave. Um, but lo and behold, there I am, just screaming, just screaming my head off. And I think my mother must have been a little frightened too, and I'm sure she didn't want to have anything terrible happen to Audrey Hepburn. But I mean, I'm sure she looked at me like, get a grip, get a grip. It's not that frightening. And I remember too, Alfred Hitchcock, The Birds, and I was home alone. This was before Home Alone was a famous saying, before it was a movie. And I was in a room that had glass French doors, and a window behind me and a window to the side of me. And no, I did not feel safe. I did not feel protected from a bunch of birds putting their beaks against automobiles and tearing them apart. And I didn't normally watch movies like that. I mean, those are not turn-on movies for me at all. Why I would watch that when I was alone, I don't know. I just that just kind of lets you know how strange I've always been. And I screamed. I screamed then too. So obviously, automatic response, automatic response. Let's see, what was the other one? I can't think of the other one. But all it takes is knowing that you can respond automatically to something. To realize You're not in charge. This is not your life. This is, this is somebody else's life. And I, I'm not sure why I shared that with you, because it was really kind of off topic to what I thought I was going to share with you. What I was going to share with you now doesn't seem to fit so well, so I'll let you go. But go to his site, tyce.info. Go to the videos. Go to the videos. If you haven't seen all those videos, take a look at the ones that you haven't. He's really got a nice selection of videos there. I went there because I thought he was going to do his own videos, and I was going to tease him that he hadn't done them yet, but um, after all, I don't live my own life. Talk to you later. Bye.